That's one big fucking
Good
forehead.
evening. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever the heck you are. This is another session of the Dragon Age Rise of the Qunari. Our first scene tonight will take us back to the Inquisition headquarters, away from Redcliffe, just for a little bit, as a prominent new figure enters the Inquisition recruiting room and has a few people a bit wordless, so to speak. And excuse me while the DM turns to his and murders someone really quick. Anyway,
It's on recording. It's premeditated.
so God.
Gotta love her, man.
All right, so you enter the Inquisition after being called forth to basically do what you're best at. And this letter was a pretty serious request, and it's been a while since you've seen your brother, so it was kind of a big one. And you're somewhat eager to see because the letter was very important. And you've entered the recruiting room for the Inquisition, and you've seen a lot of people exit since then, and you are the last one brought forth before Priscilla and a few of the others.
Okay. Lyria would approach, and it has been a while since she has seen her brother.
You see proceeding of a few familiar faces, Liliana, Colin, Priscilla, and as you look down the line, like these are people that you're not extremely familiar with, but your brother has told you about them and written about them. And then as your eyes pan to the center of the room, you see your brother sitting on what appears to be a little bit nicer of a chair than everyone else is sitting on, almost a makeshift throne, so to speak. And you notice that has his one arm resting with his staff, as he is also a mage, and his other arm is gone.
She would approach and give him a questioning look.
I figured I would tell you in person. Putting a lot of what I have to tell you today in a letter would be not quite proper delivery, and I needed to see you again. It's good to see you're well, sis.
And you. It's been too long. Far too long.
It has been far too long, but that is no longer an issue. You're here, and that's all that matters. As for the arm, well, I told you about the scars and whatnot, and the openings. Yes.
Yes, you have.
Well, to make a long story somewhat short, I was betrayed, and I suffered a bit of an accident with the gift I was given, and my arm is no longer mine. But luckily, the Maker was so fortunate as to grant me with a spare.
She would wince as he says the Maker. You've
As she
changed,
looks,
Reveline.
he nods, and he says, he looks down at his other hand, the one that's holding the staff, and he says, with what I've seen, yes, I ask, and ask for luck and blessings from probably all of them at this point. From what I've seen, there are far more than we originally thought. Anyway, it's been a rough last week. we've been having to divide our resources among the Inquisition. And as much as the council tried to disband us, we did manage to stay afloat, and we are making progress to get more done. However, this declaration of war by the Qunari is a most unfortunate event, and I can't manage as much as we are now that we have grown to the size that we are. I need you to help me in what my duties were, what I described to you, the letters I wrote to you, the messages I sent to you, are what we primarily did and what we must do. And we may wind up finding ourselves a far more war-based organization than we once were.
Well,
We may not have much of a
if you need
choice.
my help, then so be it.
I most certainly do need your help. What I want to ask you is, are you willing to give it? Is this something that you would want to do? Because I would not force you to do something that would be against your wishes, sister.
If you think I would turn you down, then you hardly know me, Letaline.
His right side of his face quirks into a smile. And he's like, I don't know. I have had a few very close to me who have shown their colors, but I think it's just instinct at this point. And let's see here. He says in your native tongue, will you help me, sister? And apparently no one in the room currently knows what he's saying.
By the way, help me is Mana Mahalani.
Mana Mahalani. I love it. I can just go to you for translation.
Yeah, I might know this game just a little bit too well.
Well, I got the lore book, and the second one tells a lot about the history, but I'm waiting for the first one, which tells a bit more about the languages and whatnot. Maha Mahalai.
She would nod.
He looks over at Priscilla, who's writing down. He looks over at Priscilla, who's writing something down. And he says, is that enough? And Priscilla kind of looks up, like, startled a bit, and she says, oh, yes, Inquisitor, that's perfectly fine. She is... If you feel that she is worthy of this position, then I'm in accordance. I... And then Colin kind of seems to whisper something to your brother, and as is Liliana, and then Colin raises his hand. I. Liliana raises her hand. I. And the others all raise their hands. I. And then he stands up and walks down to you, and he says, welcome to the Inquisition.
At which point she would just hug him.
He hugs back with his one arm. Come, sister, walk with me for a moment. We have much to discuss.
Of course.
Aye. First of all, I must ask, what is your opinion on this whole thing? The Qunari declaring war.
Well, as you know, we are cut off from much of the rest of the world. Though I have been pushing the Keeper to change that, as we cannot continue the way we are, but...
Indeed. I tried to push for unification. I did, I really did. But it's what you see here in the Inquisition is the best push that I've been able to make. As for the others, whether it be Qunari, human, elf, dwarf, very few, my message would fall on deaf ears. But here in the Inquisition, we've managed to make at least somewhat of ground. And hopefully, after this war is over, it will continue to gain ground, and hopefully we'll be able to make a difference.
Fingers crossed, but as far as the Qunari go, I don't know enough about them to form an opinion.
What we do know is that they are a bit divided. There's two factions right now. One of them, here in Ferelden, is still at least reasonable. Their leader is currently pretty reasonable. He's actually with us on this one. And they are not very numerous, however. The majority of the nation has officially just broken all ties and declared. And with the size of the fleets that we have seen or that have been reported, and with some of the information coming in.
Given that the Tevinter have been fighting them for as long as anyone can recall.
The only problem is that I beheld a vision when I came back. Scars did not leave me without some foresight. Whether it is a trick or whether it is true, I do not know. But I foresaw this, and I did my best to warn, but the size of this invading force is monumental.
From what I've heard of them, it doesn't surprise me, but with a little luck, we should be able to fight them back.
Yes, let's hope so. And he walks you through some of the other grounds, and he shows you like what the Inquisition is. And out of character, from the last standpoint of the Inquisition has actually grown from the maximum that you had it at the end of the game. There's even gone so much as far as to where they even have a second headquarters now, a northern and a southern.
Okay.
And they've spread out. They've gotten a lot more requisition, and there's a lot more members now. It's like literally, it's almost becoming a Black Ops slash full on like independent, like full on independent, like totally growing into something pretty big. But you know, compared to other organizations and to some other military and or political factions, still fairly small. He looks troubled for a moment, and you've seen arcane stuff like this happen before. Go ahead and roll me a knowledge arcane.
Okay. Pull up my character sheet real quick. I think that should suffice.
Yep. This is very strange, but it looks like he occasionally is receiving, you would guess, visions. You've seen him do this before. You know what it's like to peer into the void yourself, but he seems to be having them at very random intervals, almost somewhat sporadic. One in 5 minutes, then another in a half hour, then another in an hour or something.
Are you okay, Lethaline?
Yes, it's just I have lost an arm and the ability to seal the scars, but one of our gods, one of them, and yes, I say one of them because I have seen many now, decided out of cruelty or out of blessing to give me the uncontrolled ability to glimpse small portions of, I guess, precognition.
I'm sorry.
It's not too bad. It does make it a little bit hard to focus and tell what is real and what's not, but I've learned to mostly control it as best I can at the moment.
So,
Unfortunately, I doubt I'll be much help to you in combat at this moment until I figure out how to keep this completely controlled. But yes.
what do you need me to do?
Well, first order of business is I need you to go amongst those who you might be leading into battle or leading into dangerous situations and get to know them. Unfortunately, we've been spread, and due to a urgent matter that was sent to in Redcliffe, I may need to send you there first.
That is fine.
There are a few members of our Inquisition not too far recruited that we had sent to investigate a problem occurring with the nobility in Redcliffe. And we just received a note not more than 2 hours ago that there
Qunari
is.
the young man, Arl Eamon's son, has taken over, yes?
Yeah, he is not the problem, unfortunately. He is still with us and still very uh, competent. However, he has fallen ill recently, and we were a little bit under suspect. And with the letter that we received a few hours ago, it seems our suspicions are correct.
Hmm. All right. I will head that way then.
I can get you there just a little bit faster, if you wouldn't mind, sister. And
Well,
he smiles.
I am certainly curious to see how.
He says, he gives you a letter and a couple supplies. Basically, he gives you the rite of passage. He gives you your Inquisition badge. Basically, you can flash and say, "I'm with the Inquisition. Back the fuck off." Um, he also gives you a note of what's going on. Basically, long story short, they're a little bit baffled because they think one of the lead diplomats, or shall we say, higher ups in the Redcliffe court, so to speak, has been possessed. And apparently, due to the letter that they just found, that was sent from Miss Serena, that apparently is the case. So
Okay.
they are like, oh shit. And they've only got 2 or 3 members there right now. So he wants to send you to go help them out. Because you are, of course, arcane and skilled in the arcane arts. And at the moment, he can't afford to send many other people. So he twirls his staff with one hand and he sets it down. And he says, one last thing before I get started.
Okay.
Things are changing, sister. I know you felt it in the veil. It's shifting. It's changing completely. There is war on the horizon. A new continent was discovered, and the veil and the powers that we possess, whether it be magic or blessings of one's belief, things are changing. What we know is true and what we know to be false may start to overlap. And he points to your head and he says, trust this, and then he points to your heart, as well as this. We can no longer rely on one or the other.
I never have, brother. You know that.
He smiles, a very wide smile this time, and he says, he nods and then he says, yes, you are indeed my sister. And he holds the staff out with one hand kind of straight, vertical, straight up and down in front of you. Closes his eyes and he starts to chant a little bit. And then he actually lets go of the staff, and the staff is still standing straight up. And then it shifts counterclockwise to a horizontal position. And in front of you, what you think, you see a small distortion of a big circle about human shape. And then as he pushes his hand forward, the portal, the veil starts to kind of envelop you a bit. And he is going to cast teleport.
Arlath Lethaline.
What did you say?
Arlath Lethaline.
And he says, indeed, snaps his fingers, and I don't think he's going to fail this roll, but I'll roll anyway. Oh yeah, he's fine. So you go to the he would repeat it, Arloth, and you are then sent to a safe house that Liliana set up in Redcliffe prior to this. And he has given you directions on where to go and who to talk with and whatnot. And as you're exiting the safe house, roll me a perception check, please.
Okay. Say 28's pretty decent perception check.
Ah, yeah, that's pretty damn good. As you exit the warehouse, or safe house, I should say, you notice a pair of 5 men in gray cloaks running by very swiftly. They are dressed a lot like the Rangers you know of, except their cloaks are gray, and of course these men appear to be human. At least, anyway, it's difficult to see under their cowls. And they also appear to be very swift. They come running by the warehouse, and one of them has a kind of a nasty cut across his chest going down from kind of the left shoulder down to the middle of the stomach, like he was cut with a sword or something, and he is bleeding. And he kind of, as he's running by, he puts his hand to his chest, looks down, and he just keeps going. And you hear a commotion going on over by the left of the street. And when you look down, you can see kind of an inn, or what looks to be an inn, down at the left side of the street where the men were coming from.
She's not sure if she wants to follow the men or go check out what happened. She's probably going to go check what happened.
All right, you go check out what happened. And just about at this time, it would probably be late afternoon, so you are just approaching the front of the inn as the front door opens, and Miss Serena, this is right about the time that you are opening the door outside to go outside. If she is here.
But we were not at the inn, we were at the caravan.
Well, you, I thought she had gone back. Or are my notes wrong?
I don't know, man. It's like you sent her back in time. You
No,
were
no,
saying
no.
2 days.
I'm going to go ahead and say you went back just to make sure you didn't leave a sign. Because if I remember correctly, you guys said you clean up, didn't you? And then the dwarf said he wanted to collect some blood. So I'm going to say you went back to that because I don't think you wanted to just leave a dead body or blood, that much blood all over the place, and be like, oh, yeah, let's get out of here.
I mean, yeah, but would they have come back there though?
Well, the thing was is that no one showed up at the inn when you left and when you came back. It's been completely deserted. And if you come back to the inn, that is something you'll notice is the innkeeper's not behind the bar, no one is back there, and there are no patrons whatsoever. Actually,
Okay.
come to think of it, the shop that you passed by when you were going to the manor, that's right next to the inn,
Hmm.
is dark, and it's even though it's mid-afternoon, the placard is reading closed.
Okay, so I'll open the door to the inn and I'll see Lyria.
As you're walking out,
Is her Inquisition pin visible?
Yeah, she would have pinned it somewhere visible.
Well, I guess you're the reinforcements.
I suppose you could say that.
And I will greet her in Elvish that I don't really know, but my character does.
Malavinen.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that.
Did the Inquisition just send you?
Excuse me. Just me. Yes, they did.
I was expecting a more numerous reinforcement.
We don't need numbers, we need skills. And they wouldn't have sent her if she didn't possess them. Mr. Augustus, so are you done with what you were doing here? Can we go somewhere more uh safe, should I say, that we can converse? Dwarf, are
What's
you
safe?
ready?
What is safer than a lovely empty inn?
This is not lovely. These guys can come back at any time. We need to be out of here. And by
Why
the
are you
way,
so worried? They are
stop
shit
it.
assassins. Like I
They're
said,
not
they could have hired the Antivan Crows, but they
they
didn't.
are not assassins. They're some kind
Yes,
of
that's why they're
cultist.
shit.
Okay, stop it. Stop it. Okay, I'm Serena. This down here is Porthos, and the other guy is Augustus and his dog.
Wolf.
Charlie, was it? Wolf,
Yes,
whatever.
Charlie. Pure breed direwolf.
Right, right. What is your name?
Lyria. Lyria Llewellyn.
Good to meet you under these circumstances anyway.
Ah,
For now I would say conceal your pin so we can, because we don't know what they know.
She would take it off and tuck it into the thick sash-like portion of the armor she's wearing.
Okay.
What little armor there is, just that shoulder bit's the only part that's actually armored.
Come on boys, let's go back to the caravan.
mm-hmm.
you notice
By
that
the
the cart.
way,
Go ahead.
how is Augustus? In
Augustus.
terms of recovery.
Well, at this point, he took some medicine for it, and he's more than got the fortitude to kind of shake it off. The poison is all but subsided at this point.
And I take it that's the same for my beloved wolf.
Yes,
Let me get
and just so I don't mispronounce your name, what is the first part of her name?
Lyria.
Lyria.
It's pronounced much the same as lyrium.
Lyria.
Yeah.
Okay. Lyria, as you guys are approaching the cart, you literally see a couple ears sticking up out of the cart, and then you see a pretty good-sized direwolf head stick its way up outside of the cart and just kind of look at you and tilt its head.
Is that the wolf of the other dude?
Yeah, this is Augustus Wolf.
Oh, oh, I thought the wolf was with us at the. Okay, never
He
mind.
was not. You didn't see him.
Okay, okay.
Stealth roll of 30, baby.
Okay, you see the little wolf there? Let's go in that cart. We need to be able
Large
to
wolf.
pass. Dire
The
wolf.
wolf, the wolf kind of looks at you all and gives a little, and then goes back down under the bag.
Lead the way then.
Serena is going to get inside the cart.
You notice that this cart in particular, the one where you wrote the scripture, Serena, is almost seems to be designed to where you can seal the flaps and have not much sound go out. It's like the sides of the cart, rather than being tied on, have almost been glued or almost, I guess, quarterized on. And it looks like if you zipped it all the way up, it'd be fairly secure of a place to talk.
Okay. Are you guys coming in?
Yep.
Yes, of course.
The dwarf's gonna put his hand up and then. Fine.
Augustus, can you help the dwarf, please?
I do not need help. I can simply get up the beautiful fucking whatever it is. No need help needed. You do not throw the dwarf. The dwarf can climb.
Dwarf, if you like, I can toss you.
I will hit your testicles if you try.
I am
I'd
going
like
to
to
make
see that.
I am going to make a note down in my DM notes here that dwarf is going to get thrown at some point in campaign. Done.
Hey, I already got thrown. I got thrown
Well,
into prison, remember?
well, you also got thrown in the fucking laundry basket with a bunch of fucking
Yes.
dirty laundry
Yeah.
on top of
To
you.
be, to be fair, official declaration: you were shoved into the cell, not thrown.
Damn it.
So you guys can go ahead and sit down and update her on what the hell happened last session, because a lot happened.
Okay, so Lyria, uh, what do you, what information have you received? So again, keep it
I've
short.
been given only what my brother told me. That you needed help. That there has been a possible possession of one of the court members here in Redcliffe.
Yes, he's actually a captain of the guard, Captain Thomas.
So hardly a court member.
Well, yes, but he's very, it seems, intimately acquainted with the Archduke.
Wait, are we mixing
No,
Orlesian and
no,
What?
I call him the Archduke, but he's not actually the Archduke. That was me with
I
his
was gonna
title.
say because
No,
Archduke is Orlesian.
he's actually basically he's just a high up court member.
That's how you told him that he is an Archduke.
Yeah, I know. I got his title messed up.
Ah, fuck.
That was my bad.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Duke,
what is
Duchess, all of that
what is
is
his actual title then?
His actual title, I'll probably ask Shayna if I mess this up, but I believe his actual title would be I want to say like uh, I want to say council, but I don't think that's what they call it. Like
He was like
heads,
Bannon or
okay.
some
one
shit.
one of the
So
heads of king, I guess. I don't know.
Chancellors.
you
Chancellor.
have
What
the
Cardinal do?
king. You have the king. Below the king are the Terrans. There are 2 Terrans. Under them are the Arls. Under the Arls are the bands.
Yeah, he would be an Arl.
Okay. Okay, so Arl Morgo Devil.
Yep.
they seem to be connected. Like, okay, let me take it from the start. So, because this was pretty much as soon as I arrived, some guards tried to bribe me, tried to get bribes from me. So I made it a case to have the captain hear of it. So he tried to talk to me. I messed it up a little bit with my story there, and he didn't buy it. So he took me aside, and while that happened, it seems to shift to somebody or something else. His behavior changed. He saw me down on the floor, and then he snapped back, and he didn't know what was going on.
Wait, is the captain of the guard a mage?
Doesn't look
As
like
far
it.
as we know, the only ones who come to be possessed are mages,
I don't know what he is.
as they bear the strongest connection to the Fade.
But let me continue. Then I noticed that he was talking with the Jarl, the one that I was sent to observe, and they made their way out of the. Well, what I heard the captain say to the Jarl was that they need to talk privately with Jonathan. They talked something about the new herald, about the war, and then that Jonathan wanted to talk to the Earl, whoever that is. I never found out. So they went down to the cellars. I followed there. They opened the secret passage, and I followed there too. And I saw that there was a symbol on the wall that I didn't recognize. It was circular with uh, some diagonal lines going on and one line
As
crossing in the middle.
Serena, Lyria, as she's describing that to you, roll me a knowledge arcane or a knowledge religion. Actually, either one.
Same roll either way, so 33.
Oh yeah, that sounds like like some kind of summoning circle or some kind of summoning ritual.
What sounds like a summoning circle?
Well, after that, he was reciting some gibberish that I couldn't understand. The only words I was able to make out was my, master, and help. I couldn't make out any of the other words. It wasn't Elvish, it wasn't any language I knew. I really don't know what it was. And right while this was happening, even though I was hidden, he turned and looked in my direction and sent the captain after me, so I had to move back into the cellar and I was hiding in a barrel till they were gone pretty much. Or until the captain was gone, because then the Jarl went and put some kind of ward on the stairway. So
Hmm.
instead of getting out, I returned to where they came from, where the symbol was, and then a hand came out and tried to grab me. And then I was moving backwards and I saw what appeared to be a pride demon, I believe it was.
Yes.
And yeah, I booked it, tried to lure it towards the ward, so, because I didn't know what kind of ward that would be. I just suspected that that's what was there, some kind of rune. But he got to me first, and I got a little scratch, I suppose. I was able to roll out of the way and hide. And when I went to backstab it, it just ceased to exist. It just disappeared. So
Hmm.
I don't think that it was. Maybe it wasn't actually there. I don't know, but I don't think a private demon can be defeated that easily with just a, you know, at least I was physically able to break the barrier there, which was like an invisible wall.
Hmm.
Well, last thing I know, I was trying to continue my duties there as a maid because that's the persona I had taken up, and Porthos just plopped out of nowhere into the laundry room. So, well, I knew that he was one of us because I'd seen him during the way here in the caravan. Apparently, he managed to see me too, so that's something interesting. So I tossed him in a laundry basket and tried to snake him out of there while we were on the way. Some screams. We heard a scream, and when we went there, there was an assassinated maid there. And I saw this man in a grey cloak with a dagger on his belt looking at the Jarl and nodding like it was something they planned. They thought that this was me. And some poor girl just died for nothing, pretty much. I
My
followed
time.
the grey cloak guy, and they discussed needing more bodies, dead bodies. And they all instructed the man with the grey cloak to go to the market or the inn rather and find these two and kill them.
Hmm.
So we kept following the man with the grey cloak. In an alley, he just recited something, and another four grey cloaked guys appeared, and they just went into the inn, which, weirdly enough, nobody was there. Innkeeper wasn't there, no patrons, nothing, and just went in there, and they started attacking Augustus. So we charged them from outside, and then they just ran away, and they pretty much disappeared out of thin air.
I watched them run. It hardly seems like they disappeared. They ran right past me.
Oh, that was 2 days ago. You saw them today?
Yes.
Okay, that's so there's something bigger going on. I
One
think,
Ahem.
appeared to be very injured.
Might I correct you? You did not toss the dwarf in the bin. The dwarf merely climbed in the bin and hid. There was no
yeah,
tossing
whatever makes
involved.
you sleep at night, buddy, whatever.
At which
You
point we
were
were able
drunk
to roll
anyway.
her eyes.
You
There
were
was
drunk
no
anyway. I
tossing
don't think you
involved.
would remember. But the thing is, I believe it to be some sort of cult by the way the man in the grey cloak was addressing the Jarl
Hmm.
and saying that he would do anything for the master. Second time I heard the word master.
Likely
I
They're
means we're dealing
probably
with demons.
Yeah, they're probably under the influence of a demon. I still don't understand who that Jonathan might be. Could be the thing that's possessing the captain, perhaps? I don't
All
know.
every single one of you, if you like, could roll a knowledge local.
Knowledge
uh,
what?
local.
Local.
Oh,
Yeah, only rogues have knowledge local, but
do
you
I have that?
can. Yes, you
I
should.
If
don't
you,
see
yeah,
that.
in other words, if you don't have the trained skill, you can just roll a d20 plus a wisdom modifier.
Intelligence, actually.
Intelligence?
Yeah,
You're
knowledge and
Yeah,
intelligence
Knowledge
yeah,
are
yeah,
skill.
because
based
it's
on
a
intelligence.
because it's a base thinking. Yeah,
you're fucking me,
it's
man.
it's not a past. Yeah,
Mm.
I
So
got 19.
I
Modifier.
get
Oh,
16.
Oh, yay, 5.
to be fair, that makes sense. Your character's from far away. You won't know. You wouldn't know what the hell's going on locally here.
True.
ugh, 13.
So Porthos, ironically, a couple days ago, as you were wandering the streets and you
Mm-hmm.
had that little incident with the guards,
Mm-hmm.
you heard the name Jonathan spoken. You heard it spoken quite a bit. You think it might be possibly another Arl, but you
Mm-hmm.
didn't really get much other than that. But you definitely heard that name said when you were in the cell.
Oh, for
So,
posterity's sake, who is king and or queen?
Let me double check my notes on that one. That's a good question, actually.
um,
I was going
hey,
through that because
Alistair,
I.
bitch.
And where is the king? Is he there or there?
Isn't
He would
No,
not
the
be in
king.
Redcliffe, he'd be in
No, he's
Denerim.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
not in Redcliffe, but it is not Alistair.
no? So it's an
Then
aura, I
it's
assume.
Sonora.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Damn
Bleh.
it.
Blah. Why
Fucking
didn't you get
Wow.
them to
man.
marry? Jesus.
Well, one of two reasons. One, I'm doing something very specific with the story, which required Alistair. Two, I mean, if you
I
don't
would
want me
fuck
to
him.
have Alistair, if you don't want me to have Alistair be a helper or possible romance option, then I can just go back here and
Ooh,
switch
so
this
I could get,
over.
so I could get both
And
Alistair and Colin. Okay.
Finally.
Okay. Approval.
So I assume Alistair is still a warden then.
Those are literally two of the most monogamous men in history. I doubt they're going to share.
Okay, I'll go with Colin then. God damn it.
Keep in mind, by this point, Alistair's in his 40s,
yeah,
Ooh, silver
like
fox.
early 40s.
The calling
granted,
to
interesting fact about the Dragon Age universe: people age very gracefully in
Yes,
the
they
Dragon Age
do.
universe.
Ooh, we have a new contender.
It's like Alistair is 20, Alistair at 40. Alistair, I see like no difference, dude. Are you like bathing in the blood of dead babies or something?
it's because he has dragon blood in him, man.
Eh,
Yeah, I mean, he is, a member of Merrick's bloodline, so
Yeah.
he is
Uh,
Dovahkiin. No.
fuck Alistair. I want Colin.
Oh, so you want to fuck Alistair, but you want Colin? No.
No. If I had to choose
Well,
between Alistair and Colin, it's Colin 100% of the time. Man, like he's
Anyway,
if
hot.
you
Did you see that ass?
all right. So,
I saw that ass.
and NSFW aside, all right. You guys kind of put your heads together and you conclude that, yeah, you think that the Arl is being possessed. Now, you guys can go about this in several ways. How you guys decide to
So
go about
both,
that is your
so
choice.
both the Earl and the captain are possessed.
You're not sure if one is possessed or not. Like, you're not 100% sure, but with the evidence that you've been finding and how long you've been hanging around them, Serena, you can guess that there's definitely some shady work here. And now that you have a mage here with you who's got insight into this kind of stuff, it's seeming to be more and more likely that they are either possessed or have been corrupted or just
Yeah.
want to do what they're doing. And there may be some demonology at work here.
Yeah. So
Regarding the demonology, Lyria, is there any substance that would mildly annoy any possessed demons, like holy water or something?
she would arch an eyebrow. Holy water? You're joking, right?
No.
pardon our friend here. He is very dumb and from, well, somewhere far away from here. Like, very
Silence,
far.
ignorant dwarf.
okay, first things first. I'm not 100% sure if they believe me to be dead. In any case, my cover's blown. So I need to find another way in.
Well, couldn't you just merely put on some more makeup and pretend you're another maid? Or,
How many times can you pull the same trick on the same people and expect it to work the same way?
Perhaps as a concubine, maybe?
uh, that
Uh,
might work, actually.
I
Ladies and
wouldn't have
gentlemen,
a
the hero of
place.
the Red Cliff.
I wouldn't have a place to hide my daggers.
I'm
Well,
sure you can be suitably creative.
Not
there is
suggest.
always that
Do
one
not
place.
suggest what you're trying to suggest. Or I'm
I
gonna
am
shorten you a
merely,
few more inches.
I am merely
Ouch.
saying that there are places where you could hide a dagger without anyone noticing.
Yes, up a dwarf's arsehole would be a good idea.
Well, that
It, it,
depends on the size of the dagger, you see.
it should be noted that Lyria's face is blood red right now.
In anger or in.
Probably embarrassment.
Embarrassment.
Uh,
Keep in mind, she's like 18.
yep, I know.
Forgive me, Lyria. Okay. Can we not talk about such matters? There must be other ways. I still need to keep an eye on the Arl, who is most likely possessed by a demon, or at least controlled by a demon.
You know, I
I'm
could actually try and go
afraid.
in
I'm
disguise.
afraid that. I'm afraid that. Uh, to be honest, I was planning on knocking him out and interrogating him, but I,
How
I
very
don't know
bold
if
of
it's worth
you.
the risk at this point. I think I'll just.
What would the people say about an Inquisition? Well, they don't know you're an Inquisition agent, but what would they say about someone kidnapping their Arl and then merely torturing him?
I
Oh, the
wouldn't be
gossip
doing
would
it
be
out in
so
the open,
interesting.
obviously.
Hmm.
What do you think? I'm an idiot? I wouldn't just drag him out in broad daylight.
Serena, please forgive the dwarf. He knows not what he says.
He just stares at the dude.
Well, I do have two kinds of poison. I guess I have to use the stronger one.
Poison. And what did do you intend the effect will do to the Arl with this poison?
Kill him?
Hey,
So you are
hey,
planning to murder the Earl of Redcliffe.
is in Elvish. You hear a man outside the cart say, "Hey, Inquisition business? Anyone in there? I'm not alone
I
out here, am I?"
I'm
pop
gonna,
up.
I'm gonna open the curtain a little bit and gesture him to come in.
Yeah, you see Grumph.
Who is it?
Grumph,
Grow.
the guy who
The
fought with
old
you in the
man.
forest.
Your
Yeah,
friend.
the
He,
old man.
yeah, the older guy. He looks in, kind of looks around at everyone. He's like,
Sorry to give
sorry,
him the evil eye.
sorry about that. I he sits down and then he just kind of looks around. He's like, so I take it I'm a little late to the party, but those guys in gray cloaks, did they bug you too?
They came after you
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I got one of them.
Um. Okay. Question, everyone. Uh, have you guys been showing your badges? Did people know that you're Inquisition?
Well, to be honest with you, I was showing mine. I mean, I haven't been told to do anything secretive.
Hmm.
Uh, I kinda got arrested, so I think. Well, no, they wouldn't have gotten my badge. I hid it somewhere nice, and uh,
Yeah, the guards did not know that you were Inquisition. You never once
I
showed your
don't want
badge
to
or
know
told them.
where you shoved it. Okay. You
I haven't
Augustus.
shown anyone my badge. I've kept it hidden.
Hmm. Okay. So, how did they know to go after you two or after me? I mean,
Well,
after me, perhaps they got suspicious
well,
from my
to
contact
be honest,
there.
Serena, to be honest, Serena, me and Fang were just kind of sitting, minding our own business, and I was over at that cart over to the left over there, and
Hmm.
we were just sitting outside the city, and I was just smoking my pipe and waiting for the caravan to start back, and they just came out of nowhere and attacked me. I managed to get one, and then I ran and I ran and I was able to get away from the other ones. They kind of outnumbered me. There were six of them.
When did this happen? Six? When
Yeah,
did this
six.
happen?
Oh, I'd say 5 hours ago.
Okay. This things are getting a bit out of hand, I'm afraid. Like the ones we saw at the inn, there were five. Now you say there's six?
Well, I don't know. It could have been a different group. Did you injure one?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
Well,
we injured a couple of them,
yeah,
but we didn't
when I
kill
fought
any.
my group of when I fought my group of six, none of them were injured.
You see, this is
Uh,
why you never hire shit assassins and you go for the Antivan Cross. Always for the
Dwarf.
Antivan
they're
Cross.
not assassins, dwarf. These are
Yeah.
probably some kind of cultists.
Shit
The more I
assassins.
hear, the more. I mean, Lyria, what's your opinion on that? I mean, you're a mage. You probably know a lot more about this.
They're more likely than not mercenaries. Assassins wouldn't come in a group.
This is why you hire assassins and not shit
Would you
cultists.
shut up, dwarf?
Jeez, what rudeness. Damn.
Grumph is just going to smash you on the top of the head, and Porthos, you just kind of see stars for a moment there.
Keep in
Can
mind,
I?
she herself is not too much taller than a dwarf at 4'11".
I would like to punch Grump in the testicles.
Go ahead.
Uh, let's see. Wait, what's my? Sorry, let me find my base attack bonus on the sheet. Okay,
Remember,
it's
it's
there.
not going to be your weapon. It's just going to be your unarmed.
Yeah, it's the base attack thing. I got 17.
And if you're not trained with unarmed combat, it's at a
Yeah, attack of
-2
opportunity.
penalty.
So
Yep.
15.
So yeah, you miss.
No, no.
So he kind of like clocks you on the head, and because you're seeing stars, you kind of just go, oh, "I'm gonna go for it," and you go, and you just wind up punching solid wood, and it's like,
I start holding my hand.
So he goes for testicles and punching solid wood.
yeah,
Okay.
goes for testicles and hits wood.
Oh man.
Oh lord.
And then he's like, Grump, are you happy to see me? Or you have a
Should have
stab
should
in
have
your pants?
should have called this episode Dragon Age Friends. Anyway, so Grump kind of looks around and he says, "Okay, well, I definitely think we might be dealing with a little bit of a cult here because did any of the guys who attacked you seem to have like magical items or something?"
They did actually.
Well, if you. Well, they fucking disappeared, teleported out, yeah, like 2 days ago when they attacked us. So I'd say, yeah, they probably have some magical items. Probably.
Okay, well,
And they're.
I'm
That would require an actual mage. No magic item is going to allow you to teleport like that.
Well, I assume that the guy that was talking to the Jarl. Oh, I have. Did I tell you about that Grump? The Jarl is in charge of them. He is the one who sent them after us.
terrific. So then Liliana's suspicions were correct then.
Yes, and I think that I just have to take him out at this point.
Okay, well, I haven't received any other letters, but we have been given permission to, do what we need to. So how do you all want to go about this? Do we want to flash our badges and throw our weight in? Do we want to do this stealthily in covert ops? Like, how are
Uh,
we gonna?
I think both. What I would suggest is to split up in two teams. One team would be a distraction pretty much, and you'd be like flashing badges so that I could somehow get in and get to a point where I can take care of him.
I can
You
do that
see,
easy enough.
you
I
see,
suppose you want me and the dwarf to provide a distraction then?
Might I suggest not? I mean, might I suggest you reconsider on killing the Arl, considering he is an Arl and you said possessed?
Uh,
Wouldn't you want to
If he is
tie
possessed, it
him
will
up?
kill him.
Uh,
well, I
You
guess
see
we
a
have to exorcise him or something.
Not my realm
cool.
of expertise.
Hmm.
Grumph
Once
kind
someone has
of
been possessed, it's difficult to undo.
Grumph kind of looks around and he says, "You know, now that I think about it, he seems like he's going to say something, and then a raven lands next to him. He looks at the raven, he puts his ear to it. You see the raven actually bend down and like say something in his ear. He waves the raven off, and
Serena
then
raises an eyebrow.
he blinks for a moment, and then he looks at Lyria, and he
Yeah.
says, "I guess the final decision of what we do falls to you, Commander."
Oh, great. Oh, great.
Better than you deciding.
He
My
shrugs.
brother works quickly.
Considering as how I think Miss Lyria here is our new commanding inquisitor, at least of our group, anyway.
So, what do you suggest?
Lyria?
Now. Patience.
The dwarf will start drinking his alcohol again.
Ugh.
Drunken dwarf.
Serena will just slap the flask out of his hands.
He stares at the floor and he just hold his waist and like ah he wasted it. You know how expensive that was.
Knowing you, dwarf, about 5 copper.
I will
Burn.
not waste my tongue with such swill. I would have bought something from Antiva.
Dwarf, we could give you sewer water and you wouldn't know the difference.
Well, you might
As long
not,
as
but
you
I
put some
would.
alcohol in there, let it ferment.
Now, if the dwarf is quite done ranting,
Yes, the dwarf is done ranting, but he is still pissed off that your friend, well, our friend, ruined this very amusing alcohol.
maybe getting drunk isn't such a good idea.
But I am always drunk. It always works.
You've been here 3 days and you managed to get arrested and somehow land in my laundry basket. Do not
Yes,
tell
it
me
worked out
about working. No, it didn't work
because
That
of
out.
hardly
the
sounds like working.
about the grey clocks. No, it all worked out in the end.
I would have found out.
Porthos Romeo will save.
Okay, let's see what my will is. Ooh, shit. Okay, that's really bad.
If it's for the
Can
alcohol,
I?
it's fortitude.
Uh,
This is not an
uh,
alcohol save.
okay. Can I
Okay.
use panache to increase will save?
For this particular
Will save's
circumstance,
typically pretty
no.
low.
Well, for him,
Right.
for wizards and sorcerers, it's high. No,
Yeah.
for this situation, no. Just roll save
Okay.
flat.
Fuck! I rolled a 7.
Okay, you see Grumph kind of wave a couple fingers at you,
Mm-hmm.
and he does a full-on hold person on you. You cannot speak, move, or do anything other than look around.
I love
Oh,
hold
great.
person.
Ah, yes, Grump, my hero.
Oh, no!
Useful
He's like,
spell.
indeed it is. He just looks down at the dwarf and he's like, it's okay. I'll uh I'll let you know when the fighting starts, but I'll probably use you as a torpedo, so to speak.
He just stares into his eyes and try to like inflict rage by looking into his eyes.
Now, now.
Well,
So, I take it you are an assassin? She looks over at Serena.
Yes.
Good. That will help. The dwarf, myself, and Augustus, was it?
Yeah, yes.
Shall provide the distraction. After all, it's due time they meet the new Inquisitor.
you see Gromp with like a wicked smile on his face when you say that.
As for the main plan, however, this is where I need your expertise.
Of
If
course.
the poison doesn't kill him, we'll have a problem. Will knocking him out be more efficient? Will we be able to like expel the demon from out of him or something?
Once a person, as he hasn't succumbed and become an abomination yet, there might still be a way to save him. But once that happens, there's no going back.
Well, since he still has his own form, I'm assuming that hasn't happened yet, right?
Yes. Once he starts to become misshapen and grotesque, you'll know that
Hmm.
his mind and body are no longer his. He is gone. All that is left is the demon.
What would be the best course of action here? Killing him or take him in alive?
As nice as it would be to save him, I am not experienced in removing possession. I don't know if you are, Gromf, but I'm certainly not.
I am a man of forest and a man of nature. The divine is not my specialty, unfortunately.
Well,
Nor is mine.
I guess the Earl's fate is sealed then.
Yes. And if all else fails, I will bring a blizzard down on their heads.
Then we are all in accordance.
We only need to find out how I'm going to sneak in back there. Hmm.
I think I may have a way to do that. When For a few days now, I've been looking around on the outskirts, and I think I may have found another entrance into his studies, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
The man must truly be paranoid because he has a chute leading down to the back grounds. In the back grounds, there is a sewer entrance, and that sewer entrance leads outside of Redcliffe to a small little field I found with a couple trees and a clearing. It appears this man has been very paranoid. After asking around, some very friendly and nice folk told me that it was only just recently commissioned.
Hmm. Very interesting indeed.
That does
I
sound like
guess
demonic possession.
yes. So I guess Grump can show me that entrance.
And all the rest of us, make a nice distraction.
Yes. I can hide in his study or in his room or poison his wine.
Poison will take too long. It'll also give the demon time to take hold.
Blades it is then. I'll, in that case, I'll wait for him to sleep. And then he won't wake up.
And then it's
Okay.
settled.
So that is your guys' plan.
Yes?
Indeed.
Alrighty. So you proceed, and it is actually getting to be somewhat late. Probably be around 8 o'clock. And as you guys proceed on, I'll go ahead and have the scene of what Grumph and Serena encounter, and then I'll go ahead and ask you guys what you were doing, and I'll have you encounter the front. So as Grumph leads you to the small little clearing, you do indeed see a little, basically almost trap door that's just been dug out in the middle of the ground. And when you open it and go through, it does lead, in fact, lead to the back area where you were actually washing clothes earlier when you were disguised as a maid. And you notice that because it's 8 o'clock and it's late, there aren't too many people around back here.
Are you purposefully muted?
So go ahead and roll me a stealth check, so let's see how well you do.
Sure. 26.
Not bad.
Not good.
Even with a 2, you've got such a good stealth. It's really good. You managed to sneak in pretty well, and I'll say that you get into the house without causing a stir. As for the other group, how are you approaching the main manor?
Larry would approach via the front door. I mean,
So, like, as you go up to the front door, you see two heavily armored guards kind of sitting at the doorway, and they part their spears in the classic, X formation in front of the door. And they say, "What is your business?"
my business is meeting the Arl.
The Arl is not seeing anyone at this time. You'll have to come back tomorrow.
Why is that?
Currently, the Arl has come under a very ill circumstance. He is not seeing anyone later this night.
All the more reason he should see us then.
And why is that?
My short blonde friend here is a mage of some repute.
They immediately start to go, and they don't necessarily point their spears at you, but they start to kind of move into a position where they could.
Now, no need for violence. I'm here to help.
Help with what? Sickness? Is the Arl sickness?
Well, if the Earl is sick and you don't know what it is, it can't be mundane.
Well, we assumed it was just a fever. We had no, we were not notified that there would be mage here.
Have you seen the Earl?
Well, yeah, we saw him today.
And
He was a little bit distracted, but he didn't seem like it was anything too serious.
so, do you really think between when you seen him and now, he would have gotten ill that fast by normal means?
We had diplomacy. technically, you could roll a bluff too if you want.
Whatever's higher, man.
I'll do a bluff.
And I'll go ahead and have Lyria do one too.
Very nice.
I got 19 from you, bluff.
Not bad. You guys both pass. The guards, in combination with you two, what you're saying, they both kind of look at you. They look at the dwarf, and they look back at you, and they slowly stand to the side. And they say, "Okay." They both look kind of confused, but they seem like they're willing to let you pass.
Lyria would nod and head on in.
I nod as we're walking in. Obviously, Charlie can't
Uh,
miss me.
can I ask something? Because I'm kind of confused about who is who.
Sure.
So, okay, there's one Nardle that's sick and the one that's possessed, or they are the same person?
Same person.
Who is the one who gave me money and tried to grab my butt?
Same one.
Oh, so it's the same person. Okay, so who is he plotting against?
I've already forgotten her name. The current,
Oh, the king, the queen.
yeah, the queen,
Nora.
Nora.
Okay. Now I'm clear. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have a horrible knack with names, so you guys will have to forgive me with names because names I just do not stick at all in my head.
At which point they would, I'm assuming the guards would send someone to.
Oh yeah, they send you. They send someone to escort you, and you go to the Earl's chambers. And Serena, you're sneaking around at this time, and you're easily able to get in there as well.
I want to
Um,
go under his bed when he goes to meet them.
sure. I'll say that yeah, you get in there, and you don't see anyone in there at the moment. But as just about as that time that you're getting in the window and they're talking around the door, you start to see the door open, and you quickly dash down and you dash under his bed. It was the same room that you were in before,
Hmm.
and you see the foot, the feet come walking over, and you feel the bed kind of shift a bit, and you hear the guy sit down, and then the rest of the party, with the exception of Grump, who is currently hiding outside, uh, proceeds into the Earl's study, and he's just kind of sitting on his bed with pretty standard looking clothes on and whatnot. Doesn't really even seem to look sick. And he looks up and he's like, "What is this? I'm not receiving any counsel today."
Lyria's going to cast Detect Desire.
Mhm. That will be very easy. You detect pride. Lots and lots and lots and lots of pride. Like if you
So,
could, yeah.
you must be the Earl.
I am, and I want to know the meaning of this.
She would extend a hand. Lyria Llewellyn.
He looks at it a little bit awkwardly and slowly goes to shake it.
And yes, Christine totally pulled a Lucifer.
Yep. And are you pulling a joy buzzer on him, or
Quite possibly. Let's see. Yeah, she's going to cast Frost Touch.
oh boy.
Or frigid Touch.
Okay, he is not aware of this, so I'm gonna go ahead and count it as just hitting. How much damage will he be taking?
Let me. 4d6 plus. Let me check how much my Bloodline Arcana adds. I believe it's 1 per die.
Yep, actually, he's unaware of this, so I'm going to say this does max damage. I'm going to say this counts as
And
a
yes,
maximized
Bloodline
spell.
Arcana is anytime you cast a spell with your energy descriptor that matches your Draconic Bloodline's energy type, it deals +1 points of damage per die rolled.
Are there any guards in the room with us?
That's a total of 28 cold damage.
Ouch. Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, so you shake his hand, and instantly his arm just starts to freeze all the way up to the shoulder. And he's like, yeah! And right when you cause damage, his eyes glow yellow. And
Run away.
his voice immediately shifts to distorted and somewhat craved, and it's like, ah! And he looks at you, and he's not happy. Let's see what's going to happen here. He's going to say, took you long enough to find me. Does your damn Inquisition actually think we don't know what they are?
Oh, hardly.
Well, let's put it this way, little girl. Times are changing, and we will have our rightful place on this plane. Make no mistake of that.
Dalawa?
Think again, demon.
Was that an attack roll, uh, um, Augustus? Oh, I guess he had to stand up. He rolled something. So
Larry,
he,
what the fuck?
he looks at you, and he just kind of laughs, and he's like, if only you knew what was happening over here. If only you knew what stunts you humans, elves, and dwarves pull dealing with powers you don't even understand. Couldn't possibly know what we are trying to accomplish here. Perhaps the Qunari will be far more enticing than this one was. Well, good luck finding another Earl for this one. And you see two shadowy arms come out from his back, and one of the arms comes down over like the left side of his throat and just pulls straight off to the right and just slits his own throat, and he falls over.
Well, that made my job a lot easier.
Indeed, but
Did he say something about possessing a Qunari?
the Qunari are more susceptible to possession. It's why they bind their mages the way they do.
I know, but
Dun
isn't that
dun.
really dumb for a demon? To try and enslave a Qunari when the Qunari are always enslaving them. Eh, bah.
Though, you must admit, being enslaved in the way they are, it must be tempting.
Ding, 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 ding. Give the woman a cigar.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say that if the elves did the same, that I wouldn't try to rebel in some way.
You hear some commotion coming from outside the hall, and you see Gromf come back, and he's currently has his Inquisition badge on. The guards are parting way for him.
I guess I'm
And he
getting
comes along.
out of the bed by now.
Yep. Christine, would you roll me a perception check before you leave under the bed?
Oh, there's something under the bed, you guys. And he's
Yeah.
just trying to tell me about it. Okay, perception. Okay. Uh,
It's like, oh, there's something under the bed. No, just roll perception,
please,
see if you
guys,
see it.
gods. 15.
On the corner of the bed frame, as you're starting to crawl out under, you take a quick glance up to the kind of corner area, and you see that little circle symbol that's scrawled.
Oh, you guys.
Actually, now that you're starting to notice it, you see that there's hundreds. The bottom of this frame is wooden, and there have been hundreds of circles carved into the bottom of the bed.
Shit. I will get out of the bed. And is Grump there already?
Yep, Grumpf is in the doorway now. Now he's peeking in like,
Grump,
oh, what happened? Yeah?
flip that bed around.
Comes over.
He seems to be the strongest. No
Well,
offense, Augustus.
actually, Augustus would be the strongest in terms of sheer strength.
Okay,
But you guys,
then yeah, I'll tell Augustus to flip the bed
yeah,
over.
if you flip it over,
Certainly.
you can see that the whole bottom of the wooden frame has had strange circles carved into it, Lyria, but it's typically when a summoning circle happens, it has to be a certain size, and it at least has to be the size, at least somewhat recognizable to the size of the demon. So these are very, very small circles. Very small circles. And you have not seen this before in summoning techniques at all. And there's just hundreds carved all along the wooden surface, almost completely tattooing it, so to speak, in a nice wave.
Lyria doesn't trust this and is probably going to cast ice spears and destroy it.
You do destroy it. I'll say that the bed frame gets no defense because it's a bed frame. As you destroy it, would you roll me a fortitude save, please?
Oh, great. That's our shit roll.
I'm going to need Serena to also roll me a fortitude save because I do not think that Augustus or Porthos have a connection to the Veil. So,
Why do I have connection to the veil?
because of Darkspawn blood.
I am literally
Does
a
not,
dwarf.
no, that's not how that works. That doesn't give them a
Yep.
connection to the veil.
It's no. Serena is rolling it for a different reason. The connection to the Fade is being rolled by Lyria.
So what exactly am I rolling?
Fortitude save.
So that's the 5, right? Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, to be fair, better than Illyria's. But she aced it.
I
very nice.
don't know yet because I didn't.
That's because you typed it wrong.
Try
Yeah,
roll.
yeah, because I'm fucking shut up. Okay, 24.
Oh wow, very nice, ladies.
Fuck off.
So
Don't
yeah,
mess with this half elf.
so each of you feels something different. Lyria feels the veil shift and feels a distortion, like a ripple, kind of do a slingshot effect where
Disturbance in the force.
she feels a disturbance in the force. It comes out like a wave washing over you, and then it washes straight back and then implodes in on itself. You think you just destroyed something real big. As for Serena, you hear a very loud scream in your ears. And it hurts a lot, but you don't see anyone else around you screaming. You don't, it doesn't appear to be coming from anywhere but inside your head. But you do not feel the wave
I
that Lyria
physically
did.
cover my ears and recoil like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and Lyria is going to stagger at the feeling of the wave.
Did you hear anything? I heard a fucking scream in my ears.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Lyria, are you okay?
Yes, I. Whatever that was, it was.
It was
Something
screaming.
big.
That's what it was.
Whatever it is, I'm glad I destroyed it.
Serena.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I hear creepy voices, guys.
Nothing else happens for the next 5 minutes. Grump's kind of looking at you like everyone's like, what happened? The hell was that? Did the veil just shift? And he kind of starts looking around.
Did you hear it too?
I think so. I think that was the veil shifting.
I
Whatever
didn't
they're
hear.
doing, this is big.
I didn't hear anything, but I felt the veil shift.
I heard a whisper.
Could you understand what it said?
Did I understand what it said?
Grump just shrugs. He's like, I didn't hear anything.
No, I'm asking the DM if I understood what it said. What
Oh
language
no!
was that?
Oh hell no! You've never heard that.
Okay. No idea what it said. I've never heard that language before.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, that wasn't Elvin.
Yeah, it didn't sound like Elven. It sounds like Creepo.
I am so glad right now that dwarves cannot dream.
I'm not dreaming, you fool. This is
No, I mean like because dreams are connected to the fade, so dwarves
Yes,
can't
they have
dream,
no
and
connection to the Fade. It's
that's
why
why
they
we
don't have
can't.
mages.
Yeah, we can't cast magic, and that's a reason because of well, yeah.
When they sleep, they don't dream. They don't enter the Fade like we do.
was the voices I heard coming from the Fade?
It's
You
quite
have no
possible.
idea. Oh, sorry, that was in character.
It's quite possible that they were coming from the Fade.
Why did you hear them?
No, I simply felt the shift in the Fade.
I don't understand why I would hear them.
I so want to make a comment about this, but I'm not a Grey Warden nor no magic. God damn it.
Well, you can make a comment out of character.
Oh, I can't make a comment. But yeah, I can't say what I want to say because, well, he wouldn't know any of it. Damn
Yeah,
it.
I said you can make a comment out of character.
It's probably the Darkspawn. Because if you recall correctly, that's the reason why the Grey Wardens drink their blood is to get immune to the taint and hear the Darkspawn and
Yeah,
track them.
the Archdemon.
Yeah,
Yep.
the
Interestingly
Archdemons.
enough, it has been it's been a while since the fifth blight, but people have been rumoring about a possible sixth blight coming early. However, there has been no evidence to support this.
Okay, I will have to write to Priscilla.
Grump kind of looks up and he says, I don't think there'll be a need for that. We are called back.
Okay.
Apparently, Liliana's agents will take care of this. We have to head back.
I guess there's something bigger going on.
Then away we go.
So we're not
So
gonna do anything with the captain?
she says that she has people on it at the moment.
Okay.
And actually, as you guys leave the manor, you can see the captain getting dragged off by the city watch. Forcefully.
See there, taken care of.
That's one way
Granted,
to put it.
Granted, as you're walking by Serena, you do not like the look he gives you. But what's he going to do? He's got like 4 guys holding him by his arms and legs and forcibly using his head as a battering ram at this point.
Uh, Serena's gonna blow him a kiss.
Yeah, he's he gets about maybe 3 seconds to see that you're blowing him a kiss, and then his head smashes into the front door.
And away we go, back to the Inquisition.
Indeed, you do. And I'll go ahead and say it takes.
Wait, before we go,
Okay.
I promised Jacqueline I would look for some herbs.
Oh, you got that on the first day when you were touring the shops.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. You did say you were going to do that on the first day, and you did
You
that.
did.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you already took care of that.
What
You
did
did
I
find some
take?
herbs.
Okay, you'll
Uh,
give me the herbs when I see Jacqueline, whatever.
yes.
Let's
Mhm.
move.
You have what's it called? Milk seed or something. And then there
Milkweed.
was milkweed, bile, and then yeah, that was mostly all she needed. Yep, that's all she needed. So you guys head back. Takes so and so days travel, and as you continue
Getting
back with
from Rudcliffe to Skyhold would take roughly 2 weeks.
yes, 2 weeks travel. You get there after about 2 weeks time. The journey back is a little bit less eventful than the journey toward Redcliffe, Serena. There are no bandits this time that harass you.
Well, it didn't
Uh,
harass me technically.
if you
Most
see
disappointing.
if you see as you're going along, you do see a couple instances in which you think you might be getting attacked, but if you see any like a person in the brush or a person hiding and spotting, they immediately see the two that they are aware of, and they back off the caravan because they see the dwarf and the warrior.
And the
And
direwolf.
yeah,
And
and the
the
giant
and the ground.
and the 2 dire wolves, actually, ironically. You see, other than that, the trip passes very uneventfully. Um, you arrive back at the Inquisition headquarters, and the caravan is well stocked. The trade was successful. Goods have arrived in. The Inquisition is getting much more better restocked. As you arrive, most of your rooms that at the time you didn't have, Serena, when you started, are now prepared. Each one of you has your own room in the new structure, which is quite a bit bigger than the old structure of the Inquisition Castle, which was already pretty big.
Yeah, so big.
Yeah, if you know what I mean. So now that you guys are back in the Inquisition headquarters, you guys can kind of do what you want right now. I have a few things that will be declared and a few characters that will want to speak with you. But first off, go ahead and make any declarations or roleplay that you wish to do beforehand as I get this ready.
Myself and Charlie are going up to my room. Just
Due to the
retiring
fact,
to clean my armor and such.
due to the fact that you are quite foreign and your customs are not known to a lot of people here in Ferelden, your room is quite blank, and they've kind of just left you to design it and or arrange it how you wish. Other than that, it's a very blank room with pretty much the bare basic necessities.
The incompetent fools. I'll have to speak with the help very shortly and have them suitably whipped.
It's at that point, Augustus, that you hear a familiar voice. Still the arrogant brat, I see. No wonder your father never liked you.
Mind your tongue unless you wish to lose it.
Oh, and how am I going to lose it? Are you going to cut off your own, little boy?
I'll cut off more than your tongue if you don't mind your manners.
Manners. You're one to talk.
Now, unless you have business with me, remove yourself from my path while I find the assistants here.
I always have business with you. Until you learn respect, boy. And would you roll me a will save, please? Oh, I forgot you're on your phone. Do you want me to roll it?
Now I got it.
Ooh.
Oh, crap.
Ouch.
So, uh, your body is now no longer under your control. And the you walk forward towards the solid stone wall. You place
Yeah.
both of your hands on it, and you smash your head into it as hard as you possibly can. And you see stars, you rock back, you fall down, and you are now just seeing the world spin. And it won't let you move. And it says, "You see, this is what power is. Power comes from respect. That is what I have always tried to teach you, young one. And
At
that is
this
always
point,
something."
Charlie would attack.
All right. Charlie attacks nothing but air, unless you want him to attack you.
No, he wouldn't attack me. He'd come over and lick me and see what's happening. But he'd definitely attack whatever was there.
Whatever is there
There's
is inside you, dude.
yeah, there's nothing there.
You
But
received the Holy Ghost.
you're familiar with this. This is the first time, however, it's manifested in this form. You think this is possibly due to the past that you have lived, but it normally doesn't manifest itself in a spiritual form like this. It manifests itself in a form that you can fight. However, this time it is not a form you can fight. It seems to be inner.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I grab onto Charlie and help.
Mm-hmm. It'll hold you there until I'd say for about a good half hour. It'll just hold you on the floor, and then it will eventually release you.
Will save?
You will not have to make another will save, as it will release you.
But they got up before the half an hour's done.
You can roll another one to try and resist, yeah, if you want. I mean, not really going to matter.
Always have to resist.
That's a
Oh, yeah,
lot
that's
better.
the other one.
Eventually, you're able to kind of forcibly push it out, but your head is still spinning, and your wolf is looking at you rather expectantly with a tilted head.
I'll signal Charlie to follow me and we'll go down looking for some servants. So I can get an armor stand and other things.
Mm-hmm. You actually are easily able to get an armor stand, so to speak, and weapon rack, and pretty much anything you want in terms of like the standard get up, due to the fact that the last Inquisition had to requisite a lot of those. And I do mean a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
As you go downstairs, you see a few other people. You see a couple people in the courtyard that kind of catch your attention. You see kind of an odd act, but you see a very tall man that stands maybe about 6'6", 7 foot tall, with giant horns coming out of his head and an eye patch, and no
If you're
no
talking, he's
particular
actually about
armor.
8 feet tall.
8 feet, yeah. I thought he was 7 feet, but if he's 8 feet, that's even crazier.
Nope, he's about 8 feet tall,
8 feet tall.
Fun
Wow.
girling.
including the horns. They add about 6 inches.
Yeah, he's
You
a horny
see,
boy.
You see two people hitting him. One person is Grumpf, who you came in with not too long ago, and then the other person is a woman you have not seen before, in fairly decent plate armor with short hair, and but you can kind of see a scar on the side of her face there. And as the beating continues, he's just standing there taking it. Grump kind of looks at Cass and just, well, Cassandra, and you see Grump say, Cass, is this really proper etiquette? And Cass just kind of looks over and shrugs, and she's like, at this point, just go with it. I've stopped complaining at this point. And the man stands up and goes, "Come on, hit me harder!" And before he even finishes, Cash just says, "Okay." And rather than hitting him square on the chest, she goes for an understrike and nails him right in the boys. And he goes,
Not nice.
"Oh, that was good. That was really good." And then he falls to his knees and he's like, "That was good." And he falls down.
Oh, I love him.
Tell me,
And she,
strange woman, why were you attacking that man monster thing?
oh, hail. She says, "Hail, comrade. It's something that he requests. I don't know. You'll have to ask him. He says it makes him. He says it invigorates him, so to speak."
To be fair, he only does that when he feels fear.
Yeah, but
So if he's been around a
he
demon.
told. He told the Inquisitor that, and I don't think in the story he ever actually told Cass that or any of the newcomers here, so they wouldn't know. Um, so as far as they're concerned, they have no idea why he
Yeah.
asks people to do that. Only the Inquisitor really knows. But he falls down, and after a moment, he kind of stands back up shakily, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, that's I feel a lot better now, Cass. Thanks." Yes, way better. And she says, "Why do you have us do that?" He says, "Oh, no reason. Just like I said, it's invigorating. It keeps me on my toes, so to speak." And he doesn't meet her gaze when he says that, and he kind of starts to walk off. Cass looks over at Augustus, and she's like, "As you can see, there you go. Typical day in the Inquisition, no doubt. Thank you, Gromf." And Gromf kind of takes one of the sticks, and he's like, "Of course, Cass. Let me know if you want to do any sparring in the morning. I'm a bit tired from the trip." And he walks off, and Cass kind of walks by you, Augustus, and gives you a nod and says, "Hail."
Nodding
And
back.
walks by. You also notice that when Cass walked by you, she had a symbol that you remember seeing back when you were having your problem, but you can't quite place it. But the symbol on her chest seems familiar to you, as if you saw it in a dream or whatnot, although you're still new to the lands of Ferelden.
Somebody take a check.
Is he still wearing the cigar thing?
She's
Go closer
wearing
to your
her
mic.
she's wearing her black armor with the white symbol.
Yeah, so the Seeker's symbol.
Mm.
I'm
And
smart.
her sword is um very ornate, pretty ornate and almost glowing with runes. And then the shield she has is the Blackstone shield. But yeah, you're able to get your stuff requisitioned, Augustus.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to
Anyone else?
go. Yeah, I would like to go and report to Liliana
Mm-hmm.
of everything that happened after we received the reinforcements, because this is what she wouldn't know yet necessarily. At
It's
least not.
Liliana. You think she wouldn't know?
Well, yeah, but at least I still have to report back to her to say that work's done, kinda.
Cool practically psychic.
The woman cheats. Let's put it that way.
She does.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I know that. I'm like, how would you know that?
Though to be fair, depending on what storyline you went with in Origins, she's technically already possessed by this point.
No, I didn't go with that one.
Nope, me neither.
Because,
The
retconning.
oh yeah, certain things were indeed retconned.
A lot of things are retconned.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, stop it, guys. You're creepy. So anyway, yeah, I'll go to Liliana to report on the unquote success of the mission, kinda.
You notice that her office is a little bit creepy. As you proceed into her chamber area, there are no candles lit, and because it's fairly late in the evening, there's not much light coming in through the far window either. As you walk in to investigate, you don't even see her. You're welcome to roll me a perception to see if you can beat this stealth roll, but be my guest.
Fuck
Never
you,
gonna happen.
Brandon. Fuck you, Brandon. 24.
Yeah, there's no way. Can you beat a 42?
Well, I guess it's kind of as
I
stealthy
mean,
as
and
me,
that 20
probably.
would do it, so.
Yeah, Nat 20 could do it, but no. She comes out from the side and she says, "Yes." Like literally, she just appears out of the shadows.
I'm here to report back to you.
She says, "Report."
Well, I suppose the business in Redcliffe is concluded. The possession was confirmed. Um, what happened after? I don't know if you have
We've
been
dealt with it.
informed yet.
The better thing to do was the man showed possible signs of possession. It was under decision that he be executed.
Well, he did execute himself, but after that, we did discover
I
a
am
bunch of
talking.
suffering
I am
circles.
talking about the good captain,
Oh, the
not the
good
Arl.
captain. Oh,
And
well,
she says she holds up one hand and very lightly does air quotations. She says, "The good captain."
yeah, I expected as much.
Nonetheless, you did a good job. And she signs your papers and she hands you a bag of 200 gold.
Yay! Thank you.
And she also gives you a small green vial. She says, "For the road, if you ever need assistance again. I know that you have the ability to craft potions and poisons, but this one is fairly decent. It should help you in the future if you ever need it.
Much appreciated.
Of course, I'll keep you updated on anything else I need to know. Until then,
Uh,
work with the Inquisition. Oh, there is a possible expedition to the Southern Woods going on, much to our regret. There may be some strange work afoot there. Commander Collin wishes to investigate with certain specialists, and I would appreciate it if you went on that expedition as well."
I will report to him.
She nods. She says,
Have you, do you know where I can find Priscilla?
"Priscilla is currently in the dining hall resting up. She recently went out on an expedition and encountered a undead bear, I believe she called it. She is currently dealing with an injury that she suffers on that expedition, but she is down in the mess hall. I believe she's currently just resting."
I will need to discuss something I experienced with her.
She raises an eyebrow. Oh yes, that. Huh. None of my business in that regard. And then she gives like a little smile, like, "Hey,
I'll leave you do your work, Liliana. Thank you for receiving me.
of
And
course,
she walk out and go towards the dining hall to find Priscilla.
make her watch over you."
Hmm.
You
Thanks.
go to, you go down into the.
You're not a very religious group, I fear.
Well, no, it's not even so much that like everyone's being around you. It's just um like you can't say oh god damn it or oh Jesus Christ. You got to say maker damn it. No, uh,
Undrafted teats.
Andrastes. By Andraste's mighty pink pogo stick of destiny, I will solve this.
Or,
So
to quote Anders, Andraste's knicker weasels.
Man, dressed his magnificent ass. Whatever, let's leave the poor woman alone.
Or, if you're Qunari, Vashadan, which is literally shit.
double Vashadan. Vash Vashadan.
Anyway, come on, let's
So
get serious there. I'm trying to find Priscilla. Hello.
you go find Priscilla in the mess hall, and she does appear to have a bandage on her left arm, and she is currently not wearing her armor, but she sits down and waves you over.
Hmm. How are you recovering, Priscilla?
Oh, I will be fine come tomorrow morning. It was merely a inconvenience.
Undead bear, huh?
Something from the something from the veil. Something we don't know. We were not able to identify.
I have to ask you, did you have any nightmares or any weird feelings lately?
She looks up at you and says, "Yes." The screams.
Yes, and whispers.
She kind of thinks and she says, "Did you hear about the encounter of one known as the architect?"
Not enough to.
Precisely because we covered it up. It's best that that particular incident that happened with Sarah Hawk and the Inquisitor encountering that one does not come to common ears. But we did find out some information.
Alright, shoot.
As you know our history, Ferelden has suffered, at this point, 5 blights. The last blight we had was not without loss, but was a victory nonetheless. However, we learned afterwards that certain beings were responsible for the Darkspawn. At first, we thought they were simply chaotic beings that followed the Archdemon. But since then, we have learned a bit more about what is truly going on. Would you believe me if I told you that there are possibly Darkspawn that will emerge that will have a high intelligence?
Well, I believe it could be possible, I suppose.
Oh, it is indeed possible. Very
I
possible.
take it has already happened?
According to the reports we covered up, yes.
So, we're to expect another blight then.
Hopefully not. I do not know if it will come to a full-scale blight. That problem may, and I say may, have been fixed for now, at least for another few hundred years. But there is still always a possibility that another archdemon could emerge. However, it won't quite be the same as the previous blights were.
I see.
Nonetheless, keep your eyes and ears open, and whatever is happening down in the southern forest right now could prove to be an issue. Also, the news has not arrived just yet, but the first encounter with the fleet has been done.
Where?
First naval battle about 30 miles north. Uh, and I've already forgotten the name of the city up north. It is just in between Corvatch and it is the northernmost port city. I'm trying to remember the name of it off the top of my head. I have,
Hyver.
yeah, the map isn't popping up for me for some reason. 30 miles north, and the first naval battle has taken place, the first battle of the war, officially.
Okay.
It was a loss for us.
Well, that's not a good start, definitely. Hmm. All right, I have been requested to join another expedition.
Yes, that was the one that me and
Uh,
Jocelyn reported.
I'm supposed to meet with Cullen. What's his rank again?
Commander.
Commander Cullen.
Commander Cullen.
Yes. Uh, could you direct me to where I can find him? Is he available at this hour?
Hold on a moment.
You didn't ask me to make him an offer, Lay. You bitch.
He stands behind you now.
Fuck off. You bitch! Okay, that was in character.
That was Colin in character. Priscilla stands up and gives him a salute.
Oh,
Colin was the
hello.
one who said that.
Yeah, great. Um, Commander Callan, I'm Suriname to join your expedition.
Excellent. It's good that we finally have some members back from what is going on. We need all the help we can get in this one. Apparently, if Priscilla's reports are correct, this could be a problem. And he says, I've already talked with a few others, and Priscilla knows her job. Can I speak with you about some things that I may need you to do?
Yes, certainly. What do you need?
Of course. Sorry for the just odd manner. I've been busy of late, but this expedition going on, according to Priscilla and Jocelyn's reports, there was possible veil shifting, possible beings coming through the veil and entering our world. This is almost impossible. This shouldn't be possible. When I had some lead scouts do just that and look around, that's what was confusing to us. Is there are no scars. There is no opening. There
Hmm.
is no possible way that there could be things coming through, unless this is something new.
Could they have been summoned?
There is no sign. And if we do this expedition, we bring a few specialist mages along, then, well, that will confirm it. But that's just the thing. We couldn't find anything. The scouts could not find a single trace of evidence that there was actually any scars opening up. And these are good men and women that I have sent out there, and they know what they are doing. And believe me, I've seen the scars and I've seen the openings, but there was none.
If
No
there
trace.
were any scars, would we be able to?
We would.
Okay.
We would be able to see them
No, I mean, would we
clear
be
as.
able to close them?
He seems to get a pained look on his face and he says, "Not anymore, but we might be able to contain, and according to some of our casters, that there may very well be a way to close them. However, well, let's just hope that we don't have to close any, and let's hope there are no open ones left in the world. There shouldn't be any left in the world right now. Not since." And he doesn't go on. He seems to be lost in thought at that point.
Um, since what?
Since our Lord Inquisitor had his accident, there is there are no more scars open. There shouldn't be any more scars open.
Could these beings be leftovers, perhaps?
Typically, when the scars close, any nearby demons within a very large radius would be banished back, or at least weakened to the point of not existing in this world, to the point where they could sustain. But I don't know. Things tend to change.
I guess we'll have to find out.
I guess we will. Once again, thank you for accepting. I've heard a lot of recommendations for you, and I think you'll be a good addition to this particular expedition.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity. When are we setting off?
In a few days' time.
All right. I will need the time to rest and prepare.
He nods. He says, "It was a pleasure to have met you, Serena."
And you as well, Commander. I'll be seeing you around, I suppose.
He nods, gives a little smile, and walks off.
I think I'll go back to Brazil and comment on that amazing jawline. In a hush hush tone, of course, because
she she kind of looks up at you, and then when you start going into the jawline, she kind of raises an eyebrow. Then she gives a little smile and goes back. And she she reaches across the table and pours you some wine, and she says, "Tell me more." And that will be where we end that scene. Does anyone else have any other declarations?
Lyria would probably head down to the bar. It's the best way to get to know people.
You head on down to the bar, and you can see mostly it's fairly unoccupied, at least with most foot soldiers. However, there are a few familiar faces of note down there. You see four
By the way,
people.
she would have changed out of her armor,
Oh, of course.
so she's wearing this now.
The You go down to the main floor, and you see four characters of note. You see Iron Bull, Varric, Cassandra, and oh fuck, why am I so bad with names? I had such a big memory problem when I was a kid. The red bearded dwarf. What's his face? In Dragon Age 1.
Ogren.
Fuck.
Ogren.
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 Oh God, why?
Why is Ogren here? Why?
Why
Ogren is
can't he
literally
just fuck off? He's so annoying.
Hey,
interestingly.
Ogren's awesome.
Hey, I love
Hush.
Ogren. He's awesome.
Well, you guys will
Fuck
be
you,
funny to
Paul, and you
know.
motherfucker. You can like what I like.
You guys
Fuck you.
so so I just rolled fortitude saves for all of them, and he got a 1, so he's passed out in his bowl right now. So you see Cassandra, Iron Bull, and Varric talking about stuff, and the other dwarf is just currently with his head in a big bowl of porridge, just passed the fuck out. And you walk down and you see a couple of the barkeeps, and you also see a man. Um, you do see another one of note, someone you don't recognize, at least not as a main name that your brother ever wrote to you. But you do see a man of note over in the corner playing a lute. And let me go ahead and get his picture for you, because it's very anime-esque, I guess. Oh, poor baby. I can find my picture if my computer ever works.
Holy shit! I thought I was muted. And I think that all this time you were hearing my cat cry.
Nope, didn't hear that.
Oh, okay. Because he's a loud motherfucker.
And you see that guy over in the corner playing a lute, just kind of giving the atmosphere a nice little calm demeanor.
What happened to Meriden?
Meriden is over in the corner, and it looks like taking a nap.
Well, that would explain why she's not playing.
Yeah, it looks like she tapped out.
I'm gonna get some. I'm getting some breakfast. I'll be back later.
No worries.
Also, my phone's gonna die.
So he's kind of sitting there playing. Iron Bull kind of looks up, and it looks like he's been drinking pretty heavily. He's like, "Ah, yes, our newest inquisitor. Come, sit."
She would nod and come over and sit down with him. And she would actually greet him in Qunlot.
He he looks at her, and his eyes kind of go wide, and he's like, "Why does everyone greet me that way?" And he greets you back like in the formal um, gesture, but he sits there and he's like, "Why does everyone know that?" And Cass just kind of starts shaking her head, like
I doubt everyone knows it. It's just something I picked up.
he kind of looks and he's like, "Well, I suppose since we're here, it's okay. You know, there once was a time when I would feel that as well. I would be nervous around that, but recent events have made me a lot less nervous. I feel it's more open now."
Oh, good. No need to be nervous around me anyway.
He says, "Now that," and he points over at Cassandra and he says, "Now that is why you never trust someone who says that." And he just kind of smiles. And he's like, and she's like, "Are you always this completely paranoid?" He's like, "Being paranoid has kept me alive a very long time." Now, going back
Oh,
to that,
certainly you can't be that old.
you caught me. I'm not that old, but, well, old enough to have experience, so to speak. Varric just goes, and then Iron Bull goes, "What was that, Varric?" And Varric's like, nothing, Bull, nothing." He just kind of sits and he's looking amused at this. Um, and Iron Bull looks back at Cass and he's like, "So, Cass, back to that point I was telling you. We never did get to try out that flip idea I told you." And Cass is just literally putting her hand in her head at this point, and she's like, "Oh, Bull, enough with this." And he's like, "No, hear me out. I hit him high, you hit him low, he flips and he tumbles in midair. Think about it. It could so work. And Cass just at this point, just like pounding a fist on her head, like, no, no. Varric looks over at Lyria and he's like, this typically is the discussion that Bull has with Cassandra all the time, is about how good and how effective they can flip their next combatant that they meet in battle together. I
Well,
find it kind of an odd assertion, but maybe I'll put it in my next book. Who knows?
yes, my brother did tell me you were a writer.
Did he now? I hope he had nothing but. And he kind of dusts off his shoulders and he's like, I hope he had nothing but good things to say about me.
He did tell me not to read them because they were a little smutty.
It's what I write. And smutty. And then he kind of he's like, wait a minute, smutty, and he pounds his fists on the table. He's like, that is not. And then Cass just looks right over at him, smut, and he's like, I think I'm gonna take an extra few weeks to write my next book, Cass. And Cass just looking at him like, oh, don't even you fucking start. Cass is just glaring knives at him at this point, like, you motherfucker. Bull's just sitting there like, well, I haven't checked out. Duh. And then he like goes down to the table and he like hits his head on the table and he's like, oh, that was strong stuff.
A little
Not to
stronger than
mention,
you were anticipating.
well, not to mention, Cass pulled a fast one on me today, which I must congratulate you on, by the way. But damn, did you have to hit so hard? He just kind of goes back down. I'm like, oh. And Varric gives a little chuckle. And Sans, are you here?
Hi. Yes, I've been here the entire time.
Yes. You'd probably be down at the bar drinking alone after this point, after when you were brought into the Inquisition.
Oh
But
boy, loner drinking.
it's at this point you see, Lyria, that there is indeed another Qunari in the room. He has been sitting very far back in the corner, drinking at the very edge of the bar alone. And he's almost as big as Bull. If anything, he almost looks bigger than Bull.
She would look over at him curiously, grab her drink off of the bar, and head over his way.
So, um, just to give you an idea of what he looks like, the picture I have, his legs are exactly like the picture. His arms are like the picture. His fingers are in fact clawed, and he is wearing a large bear skull on top of his head, with his horns protruding outside of the bear skull.
As you walk towards him,
She
Iron
shows
Bull.
positively no fear at all.
Yep. As you walk towards him, Bull kind of gives you a little whisper before you continue on towards him, and he's like, that one is definitely an ally, but be wary of that one. Well, never mind. What am I saying? You are the Inquisitor's sister. You are a strong piece of hard oak, like the hardest trees that exist in the wood. You should be fine against him. But he seems depressed a lot, and I don't know. I tried to cheer him up my way, but it didn't really work that well. So just be a bit wary that he may have a lot on his mind at the moment. And Bull goes back to his drink.
She would nod, and, acknowledge what Bull has said, but still head over towards him.
Hmm. Sans, you explode. No, I'm just kidding. you see a elven woman walk towards you, and you have been told that this woman is currently the second inquisitor, who is currently running your operation and a few of the other people that you've been talking with this day.
Ah, all right. Well, as he sees her, he will tilt his head towards her and look down so that the muzzle of the skull and the eye sockets allows them to actually see her. And through the skull, you can see red piercing eyes gazing through back at you. And he raises an eyebrow and he says, hello, Miss Boss. Hi.
Please, no need for the formality. Call me Lyria.
Hmm. Wait, what did you say? Sorry?
No need for the formality, please. Call me Lyria.
Lyria. All right. I am Boris. Hello. It's good to meet you. I'm sorry, I'm not used to socializing. And he's sort of, you can see he's already somewhat anxious. He's tapping his claws against the wooden table and, sort of, not in like an impatient way, more like in like I said, anxious, nervous way. He's not used to this. He's used to most people leaving him alone. And, he blinks
and or trying to burn him at the stake.
Yes, exactly. And he says, well, what brings you to my side of the bar table?
Well, you were alone. It's never any fun to drink alone.
I suppose. Although it gives you time to think.
That's not always a good thing.
You might be right with that as well. It's hard to know. My thoughts are my own. My decisions are my own. I don't normally listen to others. But, however, you are above me in rank. And through respect, I listen to what you have to say.
Again with the rank.
I apologize. I'm not particularly used to
It's new to me. Don't worry. I suppose it's something I'll have to adjust to.
You don't seem off-put by my appearance. Why?
Cause it's kinky as fuck.
Shut up, Christine! I simply don't find it all that odd. I walk among far scarier than you in the Fade.
That's what she said. And then you hear a, oh!
She looks back at Bull.
You see Cassandra slamming Bull's head into the table. Shh. Bull's like, what? It was perfectly timed. It was perfectly timed.
The comment does bring a slight blush to Lyria's face.
I see. Well, I'm glad you are more. He sort of grits his teeth as he looks for the words. More accepting than others. Tell me, what is your view on religion? I'm
I've always
curious.
Oh
believed in
man,
the old gods.
he opened a can of worms on that one. Ow!
Oh, Boo's the best.
I've always been a believer in the old gods. The gods of my people.
Do you believe gods can live and walk this earth, this land?
Well, they certainly did once upon a time.
I see. Hmm.
Boris, you have a little bit of a memory that flashes before you very quickly.
Hmm.
It reminds you of a vision that you had. Your only experience in this life that pushed you to the belief that you now hold. But it was there, and you felt that you were truly gazing amongst a god. But perhaps it's just a fleeting dream or maybe a memory, who knows?
He'll inhale and through his, throw his head back and he'll chug down his ale and then he'll slam the cup on the counter and he'll say, right. And he'll exhale with a deep, long, well, after this exchange, I have more thoughts to do, more thinking to accomplish.
Oh, no, Boris. You need to come over here and prove me wrong what I said to you this morning.
Boris blinks and he looks over and goes like,
my
sorry.
apologies, Lyria. We need to settle this. This is a matter
Why,
of
of course.
utmost importance. Boris, get over here.
All right, Boris stands up.
He points at Cass and he's like, I want Cass, I want Varric, and I want our new Inquisitor to be witnesses to this.
Okay.
Calls you over. He has you sit across from him.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, are you ready?
Are we arm wrestling?
He puts up his arm to go arm wrestle.
God damn it. Can I rage arm wrestle?
Awesome. Are we taking bets?
You're not here.
Hey, Brandon, can I rage?
Yeah, he will rage arm wrestling as well because he is also a barbarian. Okay, so this will be go ahead and you'll both rage, and this will be a 1d20 plus strength modifier versus 1d20 plus strength modifier.
Oh boy.
And what is your strength modifier while raging? I think it's
24.
Like
or sir, 7.
Yeah. I was going to say what? So you're actually stronger than this motherfucker. Okay, so go ahead and roll.
Oh.
So the first round, you kind of go, and it starts, and it goes, and he slams your hand down. You were not prepared for that.
Mm.
And he's like, best 2 out of 3. And then he does his left hand.
Hang on. I have I have an important question. Is spellcasting banned?
Spellcasting is banned in arm wrestling, you son
God
of a
damn it, I can't rain enfeeblement him.
We cheating.
I mean, it's arm wrestling, dude. What the fuck?
Hey, you have to win it anyway, any means possible.
Yeah, so with left hand, you beat him very easily. And Bull's like, well then.
One arm is stronger than the other. What does that mean?
He's He goes, that
What
means
kind of
that
thing?
Bull kind of starts looking around and he's like, that means I tend to fight with heavier weapons in my right arm. Yes, my right arm. I favor my right arm. That is why yes.
I'm
My
sure
right
you do.
Yes, my right arm is stronger than my left because I use weapons in my right arm.
Hmm.
I actually use both hands, but whatever. Look, stand up.
Uh,
And now they're going to do the whole push out of the circle thing.
oh,
So
great.
this will also be
Some more wrestling.
one more roll off.
Okay.
He crit.
Well, there's nothing I can do with that.
Well, you might still get higher than him.
Let's see.
Close.
Too bad.
Close. But you both go to grapple as like you try and push each other out. And Bull's like, I will not be defeated a second time, Boris. And he pushes forward and he goes way too far. Like he goes stronger than like he even thought possible. Like he just like turns into like fucking Hercules. And he goes, oops, and you both tumble over and you go slamming into a table. And you both just kind of turn into a like Sonic the Hedgehog ball, and like he goes rolling out one way, you go rolling out the other, and he's like, oh, damn, I fell.
I fell.
I fell. He's like, but I think I beat you.
Yes, I believe you did, in fact, succeed at pushing me out of a circle. Well done.
And he's like, you know what that means, don't you? And he walks up to you very intimidatingly. It means I owe you a drink. And he pulls you over to the front and he gets you a drink. It is nice to see someone of such competitive sport that I like to see again. No offense, Cass. You just
He
always
holds
cheat.
up. Boris holds up one more finger, and he says, "There's one more test that needs to be done."
Oh, yes. What have I forgotten?
And he stands up, and he stands up, and he kind of flexes into position, and he goes, "Hit me."
Bull's face just turns into just utter glee at this point, so he's going to go punch you. 26.
That does hit.
All right. And you are raging, so I think you have damage reduction, don't you?
I have -2.
So he does. Wow, he rolled max damage. That's going to be 11, 10, so you only take 10 damage. He just comes up and he just goes, and uppercuts you just square in the jaw. Like, boom. And then you just look back down at him.
I do like that slow Terminator head slowly coming back down, like, "Nyeh."
Bull is just sitting there looking at you like, yes.
And I sort of, grit my teeth a little bit and
he's
spit
like,
a little bit of blood out of my cheek, and
he's like, hit me.
all right, I will hit him too.
Roll it.
That's mildly sexual at this point.
And Lyria
Maybe
is just
you.
watching and just like,
I mean, these two are sporting bonus right now. I'm fucking certain of it.
yeah, she's just sitting here thinking like, men.
Okay, so that's.
I think that's kind of what every single female character ever says when they look at Bull. They just have to sit there and go, why?
What is
Oh,
is there an attack?
Hard.
Is there an attack minus for unarmed attacks if you aren't trained in them?
You're trained in them, so you would be rolling your claw, the same bonus that you get
Oh,
to claw.
it's my claw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Wait,
same bonus. It's not your claw
Oh.
damage. It's not your claw damage. You're not attacking him
Uh-huh.
lethally. You're just doing your unarmed attack, but
Uh-huh.
it's the same bonus.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Or you
Right.
can call the boner, you know.
Could I power attack?
Yeah.
I'm gonna power attack.
Okie dokie.
Big move.
Oh,
I believe that's a -3 to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then +6. Ooh, that's gonna hurt when I
Actually, hang on. I've got something here. So, 31 rounds of Blood Rage per day, blah, blah, blah. Spend 3 additional rounds of Rage as a swift action and add your Constitution modifier to your power attack damage.
Oh,
Declare
dear
a
God.
power attack, take -4 on the attack, and then add 16 to your damage roll.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Why would you do that to poor Bull?
He's gonna,
He's such
Oh
a
my
nice
God.
Because he hit
guy.
me hard. I have to hit him harder or else I won't win.
oh my God.
Oh, I missed.
He's like, ha! And then he goes to attack you. That he misses too.
We're just going to keep going until we both
Just
hit
measure
each
your
other.
dicks at this point. Like,
We're going to keep
seriously.
going until we hit each other. It doesn't matter.
At which
So you-
point, Lyria stands up and kind of puts herself between the two of you.
20, does that
That's
hit?
enough, boys.
Okay. So as Lyria is walking over, yeah, that's a hit, Sans.
Oh my god, hang on. I gotta get the damage in before she runs over here. What is it? It's 1d. What is armed? 1d3?
It's yours is 1d6.
1d6 plus. Oh my god. 18 damage.
Yeah, wow. So as you're walking over, thank God he rolled before you started walking over and he accidentally hits you. But no, as you're walking towards the fight, Lyria, you see that he just reaches up and he just goes, "Rah!" And Bull just goes, bam! His head just shoots back and he staggers and he's like, oh, damn, that was good. And then Lyria walks over and he's like, oh.
Really, boys?
Boris isn't displaying any sort of emotional victory. He's just going, I won, and he walks away.
He looks at Lyria and he says, he needed that.
Keep in mind, he's almost a full 3 feet taller than she is.
Yeah, that's why I say lean down. When he leans down, he has to literally hey, he needed that. And then after he looks at you and he says he needed that, then he just grabs his hand and he just kind of shoves his jaw back into place.
Does that mean that he was just going he needed that? His jaw was just all out of place when he was talking?
Yes, that is exactly what it means.
Is Bullet still alive there?
He's still alive.
Hey, Bullet, you motherfucker. Are you still alive there?
What? Yes, I'm
Buddy.
listening.
Yeah, it's okay. So Bull looks at Lyria and he says, it's what he needed. It's... I don't want to take offense, but it's something that you may not understand, but it's something that he needed.
At which point her hands move to her hips. And why wouldn't I understand, pray tell?
And he's like, oh shit. Cass, give me a hand. And she's like, nope. She's like, you're on your own on this one, Bull.
When a mommy and daddy love each other very well.
Well, you see, it's a matter of pride, per se. We
Qunari have old traditions that are often forgotten amongst not only our own people, but amongst those here that we live amongst. And sometimes in our tradition, if someone was depressed or upset, it would be tradition to do as you just witnessed. And well, I tried to do several uh, techniques, I believe the word is, that Cass and a few others told me I should try instead of just doing my normal routine. So they didn't work. So I went and did my normal routine for what I do when someone is depressed. And well, it seems to have actually worked. I not that the you know, he kind of he started to kind of just drop his words. He's like, your gaze is very intimidating.
I intimidate you.
I'm no fool. He kind of looks at you and he's like, I know when to I know when to be wary and cautious of someone who could vaporize me in 5, maybe 2 seconds.
Smart man.
Of course, as I've said, I've fought dragons before and lived.
The moment you say that, Boris' head immediately twists and goes, "Dragons!" like a keyword has just been activated. He's just like, "Dragon."
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
you're not the only one.
indeed. It was quite the feat, so to speak, and well, it taught me a little bit about jumping into situations that I think I could win, or situations that I know I can win, because there is a great difference in battle. And looking at you, I have no idea if I could win or not. So yes, you do intimidate. And then he looks over at Cass and he's like, I'm not afraid. No disrespect. And then he looks right back at you like really quickly. He's like, no disrespect, Inquisitor, but you do intimidate. You have. And he's trying to like look at your eyes, but he's like, oh, dang, it's really hard to look into your eyes, and I only have one. So yeah.
Wait, is he saying it's hard to look into her eyes because he's looking elsewhere?
He does not directly say that, but if you are looking at his eye, you can see that he's not looking at your eyes.
What is he looking
Which,
at?
what is he looking at?
Well, at first his eyes are going all over the place, and then he kind of like just he doesn't want to look you in the eyes. So, but the problem is you're so small, so he doesn't want like normally when someone like is bugging him and he wants to like look in a different spot, he'll look at their head or he'll look at like something else. But so he's already looking down at you, so his eyes kind of wander. He goes from left to right, and then he looks back at your eyes like trying to hold your gaze and can't, and then he looks down and then he's like, no, don't look at that, and then he like tries to look at something else.
If she happens to catch him staring, her face would just go blood red.
I mean, Boris is
He's
in a
like,
good mood.
This is probably a virgin.
She is, actually.
Bull kind of looks. He's actually starting to go a little bit red himself, and he's like, are you all right, Inquisitor? You seem to be.
I'm fine.
Boris is going to walk over to the two of them, and he's going to look over at the Inquisitor, and he's going to put his hand on her shoulder, and he's going to say, I'd like to try something fun. Do you trust me?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yes.
Oh my God!
I cast Enlarge Person on her.
Okay. How much do you wish to cast? Like how?
Well, just one size level larger.
Okay. So,
I
You
should
weirdo.
probably say, Lyria, do you resist? Because I believe you can actually resist this.
She
That's
doesn't.
why I asked if she
Okay.
trusted me.
Okay, so Bull and everyone in the bar, you now stand towering over Bull, Lyria,
Oh dear.
and he's like, "Oh dear."
Boris finger guns Bowl and walks away.
Bull kind of looks off at Boris, and he's like, "Clever motherfucker." And he's like, like everyone in the bar is just speechless at this point. Varric is doubling over and trying so hard to like hide his face in his jacket, and Cass is just looking like, she looks at the Inquisitor, and then she looks at Bull, and then she looks down at her mug, and then she just like sets the mug down and like slides it across.
It's like,
She's
nope,
like,
I've had too
and
much.
she's like, Varric, you can have mine. Varric pushes the mug to the center where the other mugs are, and he's like, "No, I think I've had too much too." He just, like, everyone is speechless at this point. And Bull says, Inquisitor,
What's the weather up there?
that's exactly what he says. How is the weather up there?
How would it like to be tall all of a sudden?
Oh my god, this is beautiful. Thank you, Sons.
Yeah.
What's this?
Are you guys too embarrassed to do anything? You're just like, I don't know.
Oh, no, I see.
Yeah, her face is just bright fucking red.
Mm.
Inquisitor, are you all right? You don't look so well there.
I'm fine.
I see, and everyone's just going to look at you until the enlarged person spell wears off. And
I snap my fingers and it dispels.
At which point she gladly retreats to go grab a drink.
Bull kind of looks over at Boris and he's like, "I've never seen that kind of magic."
Which she downs the entire drink in one go.
When you do that, Varric just kind of looks at you like, "Damn." You know, when your brother said the veil was changing, he wasn't lying. It seems indeed that new magic and new powers are awakening, and the veil truly is shifting. That was quite something. And it was very hard for him at this point, out of respect, Lyria. I'm not trying to make offense to anyone, but his character at the time, he was having trouble looking elsewhere considering how everything was enlarged.
I mean, you look up and your eyes just immediately go to the chest, and then you can't even see the head. It's just like...
And to be fair, the outfit that she's wearing does kind of lend to the fact that, you know, he would look up and all he would see is chest.
Underboob.
It's like, whoa.
Like,
he tries to avert his gaze, but he can't. There's nowhere safe to look.
Yeah, like, look at the amount of underboob there.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot of underboob. I can even see nipple. But that's just me. Sorry,
Wow.
nipples everywhere. Sorry.
Wow, a whole nip?
It's beautiful. Okay. Let me keep my sanity here. We're gonna come back. Okay. This is a beautiful session. Thank you guys so much for doing this. Um, so you grab a drink, and eventually you all sit down and mingle and coerce and have a good time.
And I will say this: she is a lightweight.
So, like, how many drinks would you say she gets
Ooh.
before she's like,
Before she's seduced by someone.
Yeah, but before she's, 3 sheets to the wind, it only takes about 3 drinks.
okay, your comrades in arms will help you if you are having trouble walking.
Which she probably is.
Boris ends up singing old Qunari war songs, then passes out where one of the tables broke and just stays there.
Varric looks on over and he's like, Boris, that's the 4th table this week. We lost.
He's just breaking all the tables.
Varric's like, we've lost 4 tables.
Don't worry,
can't
we
keep
have wood
requisition-
for everyone.
We can't keep requisitioning more.
Hello, requisitioner. What do you need?
you
A table. Again?
Because if we can't all tell my brother, we can.
It's like, okay, we'll let him know we need more. But god damn it, that's the 4th table this week.
The bar is now filled with the echoes of loud snoring. Just
So your comrades will help carry you to your
And
room.
she is just like leaning against Bull.
Yep. Bull's like,
Down, boy.
yeah.
Sorry. I'm not sorry.
I'm actually going to say, just out of curiosity, before we end this scene and we go to Porthos, just how drunk would you say that your character would go, out of curiosity?
Considering it's probably her first time drinking away from the clan, she'd get pretty drunk.
Okay. When your comrades bring you to the door, he will actually carry you gently and tuck you in, and then they leave. He will actually
feet.
carry you feet. I guess technically that's called bridal style.
and then you look up at him and you say,
what's her size? This is her size still
no,
huge? Okay.
no, that wore off.
Okay. Because that would be awkward.
He's strong enough to do it too.
Ew,
so he carries you bridal style and lays you down on the bed and tucks you in, and says, "That was not bad for the first good drink round, Inquisitor. Let's do this again sometime."
Okay. At which point she rolls over and falls asleep.
You think you said okay, but what really came out was
What?
No. At this point,
you're just yelling in a weird language you don't know.
No. To be real, she knows Elven, Dwarven, and Cunlot. She's probably mixing all 3 of them together at this point.
Just hearing sprinklings of different languages.
Okay,
That's
let's
the
go to
character
Porthos.
of all polyglots, man.
The scene will now shift to Porthos, who's been waiting very patiently. This scene.
Porthos is poor thing.
Porthos,
He's
you
very
poor
good
thing.
at porting.
Porthos, you see your captain sit down at the mess hall with you. This man in the photo.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Porthos, my boy, how are you?"
When Portos gets in the mess hall, he's wearing some weird clothes that he probably shouldn't own. It's literally made out of silk, which is weird for him. But yes, he goes to the mess hall with newly acquired clothing, emphasis on the acquired, and he sits down, looks at the captain. Everything is okay, I suppose. A bit homesick.
He takes off his hat and he's like, "I know, I am too. Well, mostly I miss the sea, but I mean, this is profitable for us."
Yes, that is true. but I wish to smell the salty oceans and to taste Antivan wine in Antiva and not in some mountain in the middle of nowhere.
Well, hey, if we're lucky, maybe the Navy will call us out to help in support of the Qunari invasion, and we might get to see the salt air again, eh?
Do we really want to fight the Qunari in the open ocean, though? You do know they have those weird things that explode and scatter stuff everywhere.
I know. I've been meaning to try and get a hold of one to recreate it.
Eh, that would be a
Look,
very interesting to acquire.
Porthos, I know the last time I tried to do that, I blew up the ship. But hear me out on this one. I think I have it figured out.
Are you sure? Because I don't want to drown again.
Look, the Inquisition here is a perfect standing for us getting paid lots of money and for us to get lots of action. Plus, there are a lot of alchemists here, and they can help me with what I am trying to discover. Actually, that alchemist that came by and helped earlier, she was very helpful. And I think that we actually have a possible standing. I may have actually started to develop something that could help us in the war.
Okay. Does
Do
this
you remember?
involve exploding?
Yes. Do you remember what happened when we raided the East Coast? It was that one ship. That was where we met. No. We didn't meet Isabella there. We met her somewhere else. But do you remember the little thing that she told me about? And I tried to recreate that little object, and I threw it at the ship. Do you remember what happened?
Yeah, he just stares right into the captain's eye with a look of confusion.
Well, oh yeah, that's right. You were hit by timber and knocked out cold. But I threw it at the ship and it blew up. Um,
Again, blowing up. Every time you try, we explode. Would I kindly. Can I please not be in this place when you try again?
well, like I said, I think I've got it perfected this time.
He air quotes, perfected. Just like that last time you, he air quotes again, perfected that thing that ended up knocking me out cold and I almost drowned. Perfected.
And he's like, Porthos, my boy, you have to have, as what do they say here in Ferelden? Have faith in the Maker.
I am a dwarf. I have no faith in the maker.
Oh, you are a pirate. You are no dwarf. You are a cutthroat. You are a cut purse, just like me. And he kind of chuckles. And he says,
At
besides,
least
I would,
I
I
don't
would, I
make
would pay,
things explode.
I would pay 500 gold crowns to see you try and act like a dwarf of Orgrimmar.
Are you willing to take that bet?
Oh, I'll take that bet.
Ah, what a way to make money. Anyway, about
Next,
this exploding thing you were talking about.
okay, I think I've actually figured out what the problem was. I was
Hmm.
trying to turn it into a liquid form, but the key is keeping it in a solid powder form. When
Uh-huh.
ignited with fire, it explodes, and mine is quite quick to ignite. But it's unfortunately it's still a bit unstable. That is why I'm working with the alchemists around here. I need to find a way to get it stable. But if we do, we can sell it to Ferelden, we can sell it to the Inquisition, and make even more money for our crew. Think about it. This is the best position that we could offer, and the Inquisition will lead us to great fortune. Do you not agree with me, Porthos?
I'm sorry, I'll be right back.
He just gets out and leaves like, what?
Weirdo, man.
It's like, what? He just disappears. There's like three dots above Porthos's head, and they're just blinking, and then it says loading, loading.
Okay, I am back.
He's like, this is the best route for us, Porthos. You understand, my boy, correct?
Let me get this straight. So we went from smuggling badass pirates to working for the Inquisition for who knows why to becoming weapon makers for people, basically.
He slaps down a bag in front of you.
He opens the bag.
500 gold.
Okay then, weapon makers of death it is.
He's like, I knew you would be seeing things my way. And
So,
he looks at his very exquisite sword.
okay. What makes you so sure that you won't kill whomever buys your thing?
I don't kill everyone who tries to cheat me, just the people who matter.
Uh-huh.
What?
Okay, so
I've only killed 2, 3.
uh,
Okay, 4.
multiply that by, he starts counting on his fingers, this much. And then there's like 5 fingers up or something.
And he's like, well, no, that the other 12 didn't count. They were
Uh-huh.
enemies. They were enemies. They were they were opposing mercenaries. We couldn't allow the business to continue. I mean, we
Right,
had to look out for ourselves, you know.
right.
I was looking out for the crew. Damn it.
So, my dear captain, what is it you need me to do for your exploding death?
Um, well, if you could possibly go along with that expedition that's going to happen in a couple of days and get me some, and he hands you a piece of paper, and it's got some herbs on it that are localized to the Dragon Age universe, which I will get you when I can. But he
Uh-huh.
hands you a piece of paper with some herb lists on it.
Portos just starts reading the thing, and after reading like a few lines, he stares at the captain. What makes you think that I know what any of these are?
He holds out a couple samples of each one, and he sets them down on the
Oh,
table in front of you.
that's okay then.
See,
Just to make sure, I won't mistake this for any other thing, right? I don't want to like pick up some poison and just spread it on my face and bad things happen. I don't want to get a rash.
that would be hilarious.
Well, for you, not for me.
Why, why would you smear something on your face?
No,
Can you like pick up random verbs and just rub them on your face?
He says,
I cannot when I'm dead.
he says, Port, he says, Porthos, my boy, I think this will be a profitable position for us. And he shakes your hand, and he puts back on his very flowered brimmed hat, as you can see in the picture. And he puts it on and does a little fake bow to Porthos. Like, you know, he's changed his demeanor, Porthos, which you've seen hundreds of times. When he speaks to you and his crew, he is the captain, but then when he goes and speaks to other people, he is a very different person. And he says, I will bid you adieu, Porthos. I must
Yeah,
go I must go use my charm to see how more we can profit ourselves here in the Inquisition.
Portos tries to shake his hand and he goes, to being merchants of war.
War is coming to us. Let us embrace it, Porthos.
May it be ever so profitable.
May it be ever so profitable. And he shakes your hand and
Bad
walks off.
scum.
And he walks off and gives a flourish to just some other random lady there. And within a few moments, he's already having a conversation and flirting with a couple other just random people.
Smooth.
And yeah, and well, with a charisma of 20, yeah. He goes around, and with that, the scene fades to black. And anyone who is out on the battlements hears a very faint sound coming from the southern woods. And the camera will zoom in on the southern woods and fade to black. And with that, the session will end. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Thank you, players, for playing. We may go ahead and terminate the live stream now.